to the webinar 8 AI cases in utilities. And my name is Kate. I'm gonna be a host of today's event, of today's webinar. Also, let me introduce my colleague, Ronnie. Ronnie is the head of MaxBill AI billing and the whole AI development direction at MaxBill. And let me walk you through our agenda for today. It's gonna be interesting. So first we will walk you through cases of AI in customer service. Then we will explore cases of AI use in revenue management. Then we're gonna explore common concerns around AI in utilities and energy. People doubt about something, they have worries, so we're gonna address these worries. And also we're gonna have a Q&A session, so please feel free to, throughout the whole presentation, feel free to ask questions, drop them in the chat, and after the presentation, we will gladly answer all your questions. Okay. So before actually getting closer to AI cases, let me introduce MaxBill, what we do, who we are. MaxBill is a modern solution designed to deliver CRM and utility CIS, billing, complex partner management, invoicing, and reconciliation. We are in the market for 30 years already, and some of our colleagues have been in the company for 30 years from the day one. So as I say, they have already 3 or 4 PhDs in billing. And 10 years ago, we decided to focus also on energy and utility. And that's why, like we are talking today, right, about AI and utilities, but still the product is capable of supporting other verticals such as telcos. So yeah, just a few words about with whom we work. We work with energy providers, multi-utilities, energy management service bureaus. And as you can see, just a few of our references: Communal Energy Partners, the big tenant management company in UK. Yasna is one of the largest Ukrainian energy service providers with 5 million service points. Gulf is a Portugal's energy providers. We do some billing activities in Spain with them. Energy is a new owner of Firmus Energy in Northern Ireland. Infostan is the municipality in Belgrade, and Amiga Solar is solar service providers in Chile. Okay, so and a few words about MaxBill product suite. We have Flagman One, flagship products that we're working with our clients for 30 years already. And also we did develop actually our MaxBill AI product suite, because I think we used to believe that utilities is orthodoxly conservative industry, but actually there's so much room for innovation today in this industry, and we'll see with our own eyes what's happening in this industry today. Okay. So first of all, let me start with some prognosis, okay? What Gartner says about AI, what's happening, what's gonna happen in the industry. So embedded AI agents will be built into more than a third of all enterprise applications, making natural language conversation the primary user interface. These agents will handle approximately 15% of routine decisions, freeing people from repetitive tasks and unlocking a new level of productivity. Yes, that's so true. We will see how much the level of productivity increased throughout utility and energy service providers. So let's start with customer service. Okay, so let me introduce first AI agent handling email triage and processing. We believe that today, actually, it's not just the time of AI applications where automation is key. We do believe that actually right now, this is a time of multi-agent ecosystem. We mean by that AI agents, those are independent AI agents, they interpret goals, they work out plans and work autonomously. Moreover, they communicate with each other, have access to the whole organizational expertise and retrieve information that needed here and now, and the most relevant one that is needed to solve this or that problem. And what's more, they can communicate not only with AI agents within your organization, okay, within one system. They can communicate with third-party AI agents, if that makes sense for your utility supply chain, which is awesome, I think, right? So, and speaking about email triage, and let's take the case of UK Power Network. They do electricity connections for UK customers. So imagine having like 80,000 emails landing on email boxes of the company and 20 people working daily full time to put it into work. So yeah, the huge amount of emails and a lot of people working on that. And in UK, you know, there's regulators that actually measure and keep track on how you process emails, how you switch people, how you serve them. So and if this percentage of service is low, you might be facing fines and refunds and, you know, some regulatory risks. So they leverage two agents actually for emails triage. So the first one actually reads the email and assigns some priority, and based on that information, this very email is placed in the correct place to be actioned upon. So the second agent gets all this information, again, reads through the text, reads through the attachments, and feed in all this information to the backend system, where a human steps in, clicks the approve button, and this is how actually the work is triggered after this email is placed in the correct place. So and what we have, what do they have after that? They have 10,000 hours saved per day, and they can identify up to 98% of success urgent emails, which is a big thing in this industry, to do it quickly. And most importantly, the processing time of one email takes already less than 1 minute. And previously it was a day and a half, something like that. So yeah, as we can see, it's a way more productive this way. Well-known Octopus Energy, an energy provider, so they had problems with human representatives drafting responses to clients. So obviously it led to some delays and bad customer satisfaction metrics. So they leveraged generative AI and that summarize entire customer interaction history. They auto-draft the responses in natural language, and they suggest specific actions that are super relevant for this or that customers. That makes sense. So, and that helped them to increase actually this customer satisfaction metric by 70%, which is, I think, a great result. Okay, so next case, digital inclusion and self-service for tech-savvy generations. We all know like utilities, energy, like service providers, and digital inclusion are key terms, like keywords in this domain. And there are different generations, and boomers, they prefer being called and being explained and stuff. Okay, but Gen Z and Gen Alpha, they prefer being interacted with via multiple digital channels. They don't want to be phoned out. They want to have their answers here and now via the channel they want. They want managed billing, service request without waiting in call views. So yeah, and there's always a solution with AI agents. Again, for example, in MaxBill, we have AI-powered virtual assistant that explains bills, invoices, consumptions. It's actually placed in our self-service customer portal. So a customer enters, ask the question, and this agent explains everything the customer wants. And in fact, if an energy provider or utility wants go further, deliver any other information like new pricing, new tariffs, new offers, the agent can be always trained to do that. Okay, and also There's a nice example in Italian energy provider, Enercom Group. They leverage AI agent, again, for efficient communication. For example, an AI agent feels like that this or that customer needs more empathetic support. So it directs this kind of customer to the human CSRs for better communication. Okay, so next case is onboarding with digital enrollment. Processing time reduced from weeks to minutes. Yes, it is. It is reduced like literally to minutes. For example, we do know, right, that utility onboarding might be time consuming and sometimes cumbersome. You have to fill out all those forms. And the system behind the scenes, right, has to identify the customer and onboard and fill in and stuff like that. So with agentic AI, things are different. For example, when a customer wants to join Plenitude, it's enough for them to upload images of all energy bills, okay, and the system automatically fill out all the forms, and also when they leverage document AI for quick and instant ID identification. So it happens like in clicks, in seconds while onboarding, thanks to AI technology. And yeah, and speaking about guided enrollment process, which is a big thing also, I think. For example, there's this AI agent Eana that is widely used by utilities across European and Central Europe. We do know that. It actually hosted on the website. So it offers a new customer like to proceed to have a look, to discover, to explore, right, the portfolio, new services, and products itself. So then it asks to proceed with digital enrollment if the new customer wants to get this new service or product, right? And then it asks for a picture of ID, old bill, property contract, automatically fills in on the form, ask users to confirm information. Well, this is how the enrollment is happened, right? And also, if Iana is partnering up with some, let's say, document management application, you can instantly create virtual files like where with all documentation stored about this client, which is, I think, also very useful from the marketing point of view. So teams can access to those files, use again for personalized offers, product recommendation, etc., etc. Again, at the MaxBill, speaking about contracting, because Iana helps quickly contract people that actually wants to have a new contract with new services and products. And again, contracting happens very quickly. We're having as well within our AI product catalog, we turn pricing model, tariffs, and portfolios into fully functionable catalogs instantly. You just enter the information in the form of free text from the contract, and the agent catches it up quickly, and here we go, we have a new contract literally in clicks. And yeah. Okay, so the next AI use case, automating commercial funnel and customer service. So this is actually the case when agentic AI can combine both automating commercial funnel, you communicate with your customer, right, and customer service itself. This is the way of upsell and cross-sell products, services, whatever you want. So the virtual assistant can be hosted on the side, in back office of the client, self-care portal, wherever. So it interacts with users, collects data on their energy uses, location, preferences, and then it like the whole team, the human team have access, right, to those information, to that information, personalizes product recommendation and offers, and they can actually offer it again, re-offer, right, to clients. And also this agent can identify new leads and then direct them to relevant services, product recommendations, and so on, what do you have for them. So we have a great example with Kivitz, Italian energy provider. They implemented this kind of technology, and their conversion rate exceeded by 10% within the first 6 months after applying this technology. So yeah, I think this is it for customer service as promised, and I think Ronnie, it's your turn to explore AI in revenue management.
Thank you, Katarina. Speaking of revenue management, I think it's the best place to start with the win-win scenario. And we are looking at the negative price alert bot, which will help us save money for the customer and for the utilities suppliers, reduce balancing costs. What does it mean? Sometimes the energy, especially with the countries and unions with the more advanced technology and have a grid, sometimes the energy not only free, but the market initiative is also to push this energy to be used, okay, for the grid health. Now, we use AI agent to spot what customer can actually shift the load. Okay, not all the customer have the ability to benefit from that. We are looking at a specific customer that have specific infrastructure, such as batteries, electrical vehicles, and heat pumps. How does it work? So first of all, we need to detect those negative hours window. Usually we get the data a few hours or a day ahead, and we can already map what hours we will most likely have a negative price energy. Next up is targeting those customers who are likely to utilize those hours. The ones with the batteries, heat pumps, and electrical vehicles. And then we also utilize AI to construct a message with clear initiatives so that the customer will actually take that opportunity. So we take in consideration the contact preferences, whether it's contacting by SMS, WhatsApp, calls, etc., while respecting their quiet hours. Okay, we are not planning to call anyone at the middle of the night and encourage them to charge their batteries, for example. After that, we verify that the customer has received and wants to participate and collect energy in those negative prices. And after all of that is complete, we always have a continuous improvement for the AI for future interactions. Looking at real-life scenarios of where is it used. For example, we have someone who owns a battery fleet. So we notify him that if he will charge between the hours 2 and 3 a.m. at night, we will give him credits. Okay, and it also will remove a megawatt of curtailment risk on the grid. Another case is houses that have a domestic heating water tanks. So instead of heating those tanks at the usual hours, at the evening or at the early morning, we can heat them at hours like 2 to 4 a.m. where they're most likely to be a negative price. It's moving all the time. And they still will have hot water, plus they will gain bonuses and credits, which will affect the final invoice at the end of the month. Okay, so the account will definitely will feel a reduction in costs. And we cannot ignore the benefit from AI that it doesn't have any issue with languages. So for example, if we have accounts in Germany and we have tenants that we can detect, for example, by the name that he is speaking other languages such as Ukrainian or other languages, we will not continue as an old tradition to push again and again SMS and notification in German. We will adjust the strategy, change the language, and increase the outreach percentage. Because at the end of the day, it's a mutual interest to use this negative price hours. Moving to the next case, we are looking at a collection whisperer. Compared to the traditional, for example, debt collection, where we need to collect overdue invoices, here we can utilize AI to segment accounts by hardship risk. What does it mean? We want to take a look at the demographic, where this account or tenant is located, at the economic state of this account, and past behavior actions. So we are not following a traditional workflow to get and collect those unpaid invoices. We are getting the personalized approach, and in the end of the day, we want to write a message that will give the customer a feeling that he is heard and that we consider his situation and try to come towards him to a mutual beneficial solution. Now, looking at a few cases, how we can utilize this AI segmentation. The first case is we have a simple invoice that is been overdue. Now, instead of nagging this account each 10 days or 20 days to pay this invoice, we introduce a 6-month plans, just 10 minutes, because we can utilize how fast we can go to the market from just an idea to an actual offer that we can use. And after we presented the 6th plan for the customer, of course, we can confirm the first payment of the 6th plan, and we know at this point that he is committed to this plan. He likes this plan, and this invoice will be paid during this 6 months plan that we have constructed for him. Another case is senior IVR. We are looking at voice communication with people, especially elderly people. We have a good AI technology that it's very difficult to differentiate between a real representative or AI representative. And when we interact in that way, there are expected to be much less complaints. And again, the people will know that it's not just a robot chasing them to pay more money. We are talking with more emotions here and empathy. Okay, this is something that was missing and it was almost impossible to achieve without the AI technologies we have today. Last but not least, my favorite case about the collection whisperer is the winter amnesty. So especially in cold countries, the energy bill can get very high during cold months. We have to heat the house and keep the house warm. And some families, some accounts may find it difficult to pay those high bills. So what we do in that scenario, we can offer a 2 months pause, for example, so that account can catch up to his financial situation, improve it. And then when we have hotter months where the energy bill is very, very low, this account will not have any issue with paying what was difficult to pay back in the winter. Okay, so we have here a very personalized and creative approach. Speaking of creativity, we also have the creative revenue designer. So as Katerina mentioned in the beginning, it feels like there is a silent agreement of how the utility sector should look like. I mean, we don't have much wiggle room between the tariffs and packages and bundles. Maybe move the prices or change the bundle a little bit, but it's really hard to call it creative. So AI is able to find micro segments and draft already ready to use, ready to market bundles with already pricing structure in place. And those bundles are actually not related to consumption, meaning we are not creating new revenue streams based on consumption, but rather some bundles that can be of a service to the accounts. Let me explain that. So looking at the first bundle example, we are looking at a senior home care. So elderly people might find it difficult to regulate the exact temperature they want with the thermostat in accordance to the weather outside, and it becomes kind of an extra work to their families who needs to constantly check up if everything is okay with the elderly family. And here we can offer a bundle. It can be a subscription fee, for example, that we will keep track of the thermostat, regulating him in accordance to the weather outside. And at the end of the day, it will give peace of mind to their families. For a small subscription fee, it sounds like a very good deal. Another case is the prosumer battery booster. It's related to the first case I've presented of the negative hours. We do not expect each account to wake up in the middle of the night and plug his batteries or turn up the hot boiler. So in that case, for a management fee bundle, we can offer to automatically switch their components, their batteries, their electrical vehicle, to switch them on during the optimal price hours, and then they will have peace of mind. They don't have to wake at the middle of the night, and they know that each time it's monitored and it will be beneficial, and they will catch basically all the negative or optimal price hours. Compared to a small management fee, it's again a win-win situation. Another case is apartment EV co-op. So today, more and more apartments have within the apartment or within the house, they have a charger that charges their electrical vehicle, but they don't have the infrastructure or the software to share this energy with the public. So we can offer that kind of infrastructure and dynamic packages to support and allow the apartment owner to give his charger to public users of electrical vehicles. Something he physically didn't have the option to do before. Now we can assist him in doing so. And he will get, of course, his revenue sharing for giving energy to the public users. So again, another creative bundle that benefits also the apartment owner with the station. Last but not least case that we have today is the policy navigator. So as you know, countries are unions by official sources, sometimes update regulation, update the rules, update the law, and we need to be quick to react, because if utility suppliers will not react accordingly, they are risking in paying fees and penalties for not complying with that regulations. What AI can do in that situation? So AI will monitor the official sources that release those kind of regulations and laws, and immediately, automatically, will map those changes of how is it related to our tariff structure. For example, we are looking at some inframarginal revenue cap completed by EU, which says that we are capping generator revenue at 180 euros per megawatt hour. Or, for example, reducing VAT tax rate for green energy. Once our AI policy navigator detects this kind of regulation, this kind of revenue cap, he will automatically identify if we have something that is related to that change. So it will automatically, for example, map that we have ABC items that are related to grid energy. AI will automatically do a draft change, meaning reduce the tax rate change, reduce the VAT, and at the next working day, the billing analyst will come, will see the suggested changes, click approve, and there we go. We are within less than a day, are compliant to the regulations, and released to the market the adjusted tariff structure already, avoiding any penalties or fees that we will have to pay if we do not comply. Katarina, back to you.
Thank you, Ronnie. Yeah, and this is actually the last chapter of our webinar. We're going to talk about common concerns about AI, but just a quick reminder that please drop your questions. We will answer gladly, and we see all your common questions. We will answer them, don't worry. Okay, so probably I'm going to read, okay, and you will respond. Well, we work with billing. We work a lot with billing, and it's about numbers, right? Calculations, and we are being asked very often about accuracy. So I think what is how do we ensure this financial accuracy across billing calculations, and are there any hallucinations in those calculations? What do you respond to that?
I say it's a valid concern because as a user of AI and LLMs, and I'm sure everyone has a certain experience with it, have noticed that mathematical equation is not the strong part of AI. And the way we work and do billing with accuracy, and we can guarantee accuracy across all instances, is that we mostly use AI for free text interpretation, configurations, setting up structures, product offers, and generating scripts and code that will do the actual calculations. Meaning, when we have a calculation that we are happy with, according to the requirements, we do not have to worry about consistency or accuracy because it's processed by the code that was generated by AI, not by AI itself directly. Okay. And regarding hallucinations, it's pretty simple to answer. Hallucination, it's I would say an old terminology, but how we use AI is we have many AI chains with strict limitations. So we do not at any point will accept some hallucination. Okay, we have exact output that AI should give us, going to the next chain, and this is a lot of verifications and structure, meaning there is no place for hallucination, simply as that.
Okay. I think we're happy to know that. What about AI being a black box for certain utility leaders? Well, you don't know what to expect, who is responsible for decisions are not transparent. How would you address this concern? What do you say?
Yes, so similar to hallucination, when we use chains of AI, with clear rules and restrictions, it's very easy to track the chain of thought of AI. Okay, we do not have an input and then a black box and then some decision. No, we see each piece of logic, each piece of chain. We see why we got this result based on the input, and we can easily justify to customer or regulators why we got what we got.
Okay, thank you. And consumer data protection, I think it's the number one, concern. So what if consumer data will be leaked? How AI can misuse it? So what would you say about it?
So here I will split the answer in two. First of all, when we deploy software and the AI locally, there is absolutely no risk, same as there is no risk with non-AI softwares. Okay, it's all located on the local databases, local servers. It's not exposed outside in any way. So there is really nothing to be concerned about. In other installation, or when we use non-local LLMs, public LLMs by OpenAI, Gemini, Claude, for example, first of all, we have a GDPR agreement with them. So in any case, it's GDPR compliant. And also we regulate the data which goes out, and the customer data is safe in both cases.
Okay. Also, the question about our, AI vendors, tech vendors, utility leaders actually do not feel like there's a visible ROI after leveraging AI into their utility ops. So, what would you say on that visible ROI? Is it possible to have a visible ROI, or what
Yeah.
else?
I think the most visible benefit from using AI, it would be immediately seen how fast we do things, how fast we do implementation, how fast we transform an idea to the already ready to use market. And of course, when we do fast implementation and all the processes are mostly automated, we have less need for employees, as simple as that. So I think it's safe to say that companies will feel it immediately, and it will impact their revenue at the end of the year for sure.
Okay, good to know. And the last question is about, internal technical expertise for teams. So utility leaders are worried about upskilling of their teams, and maybe should we leverage change management or not? How the team should adopt the technology? Is it quick or not? Worries around these internal teams.
Yeah, it's definitely felt and still feels that there is some, I would say, fear of how to use AI, whether it will be difficult and how to start, and a lot of concern around that. And I would say it's quite the opposite. So using AI or learning how to use it in such systems is much easier than learning to use complex legacy systems where you have a lot of complexity. When we have AI that utilizes and optimizes a lot of processes, there is less need for manual work. So I would say the learning curve in AI is less than the traditional learning curve of other software.
Okay. So I think it's the time for Q&A questions, and we have a few of them. So I'm going to read and let's answer. So how can AI assistants help upsell services? Do you want to address this question?
How can AI upsell services?
Yes.
We have many models that AI interacts with the customer, whether it's by customer support, whether it's, as I mentioned, the negative price alert bot. At the end of the day, when AI interacts with the customer, it has a lot of possibility to upsell items, upsell, as we mentioned, also creativity bundles. So when AI have access both to the customer and both to our data, both to our tariff structure, services, etc., he can already sense and know that this customer could benefit from XYZ bundle and perform even direct upselling, suggesting it in the middle of support or outreach conversation, and expose our services in a good way. So we will sell more items.
Okay. Do you have a solution for debt reduction in MaxBill, or better to avoid it? Yeah, not definitely not to avoid it, right? Okay. So
yes. So speaking of debt reduction, I would say the most clear example is what I've presented with the collection whisperer. We want to take a personalized approach based on the customer demographic, economic, behavior, and health situation. And by this humanized approach and not robotic approach, it's definitely visible that it reduces the debts and helps us collect the revenue.
mm-hmm. Okay. And I think the last one here is, are there any other examples of AI helping to launch new services?
Yes. Other example would be, for example, if we have in the EV sector, we have many parties playing in revenue sharing. So there are very big amount and big variety of contracts between the owner of the charging station, owner of the land, the actual consumer who uses the charges. And at the end of the month, we need to split it by various conditions and percentage between all the party involved in the revenue sharing of EV charging stations. So in that case, AI enable us to easily take all those big variety and new contracts to come with a very unique percentage split between each contract and turn it into reality very quickly. We don't need configurator or someone to implement this contract each time, but we use AI for any unique contract condition to be directly ready to use.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you know what? Speaking about debt reduction, I've just recalled about our ML debt prediction models. Can you just add a little bit about this? That we actually help reduce indebtedness with what if simulations, different scenarios that can make customers more capable of paying debts. Just a little bit
Yes.
explore that. Yeah.
So we have also machine learning models that can predict beforehand the likelihood of an account to get into debt. So in that cases, we can take measurement even before the account or invoices are unpaid. And in addition to that, we have the option to do simulation. What if the customer would switch his payment method? What if the customer would get another contact preferences? We have many parameters that we can play with or let the AI play with to determine what exact decision we need to do and actions to do now before this account gets into debt, reducing the likelihood of debt for this account.
Okay, good to know. Harry asked, how does your AI handle multi-channel bill acquisition? Email, utility portals, APIs, even scanned uploads.
It's a good question. So for that kind of managing of different channels, we can, and we already using AI to map contact points or integration points with other services. Meaning, instead of the traditional way of analyzing how to implement or integrate with some party, we introduce AI, the endpoints, APIs, just as an example. And the AI already maps this API, how to use it, what response does it get, for what this response is used later, configure it, and store it into the system. So in future occurrences, we can just reuse this configuration that AI did very quickly and basically very quickly communicate with other channels.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, I think our time is almost up. So we will gladly answer the rest of the questions personally. So feel free to contact, and we get back to you. Well, just a quick short information that it was the first part of the whole series of the webinars. We're going to have in October, November, two webinars. So how can AI drive revenue growth? We're going to walk you through the whole MaxBill billing system and show where miracles happen really. When driving revenue. And the last webinar this year is actually about getting ready for ongoing European Union regulations. We know that 6 out of 8 regulations, upcoming regulations, require revisiting billing and compliance workflow. And this is where we have expertise, and also how AI can help utilities to be compliant quickly. So welcome. We're gonna provide more information about upcoming webinars later, but here we are for you to know, and we will answer all questions in private messages. So don't worry, all your questions will be covered by MaxBill. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you very much for being for the webinar, and see you later at other events of MaxBill. Have a nice day.
Thank you.